You're right. Anytime she says something stupid, I'm going to go, slave owner.
This is the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York. You guys wrap that around your brain. That's bigger than the mafia.
The View co-host Sunny Hostin's husband, Emmanuel Hostin, has been accused of federal insurance fraud.
Sunny Hostin, her husband accused of committing federal insurance fraud in a law.
He was scamming insurance companies from taxi drivers, Uber drivers, and Lyft drivers. He was performing unnecessary surgeries and then providing fraudulent medical services in exchange. But it's just, I mean, Pat, you're married. Tom, you're married. If your husband's doing something, if he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to.
So we know Sunny Hostin and her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, are preparing for a legal battle to fight accusations that he committed federal insurance fraud.
And it's a very serious crime. In fact, it's one of the largest, if not the largest, RICO case in New York's history.
Panel. She is self-appointed. She knows everything. It's great to see her ego take this hit, but I think it will be short-lived.
It's amazing to listen to her talk about it.
Oh, no. I think that it's very helpful that he's handy, and when we travel, I'm not picking up any bags. He's the one that's hefting them overhead. He throws the garbage out. Right. He does the heavy stuff.
It does not look well when your name ends up with 200 people in a RICO investigation. This is the biggest investigation since Giuliani shook the tree and a bunch of mobsters fell out, right? This is big stuff. And so, and thank you for bringing that video. It sure is ironic that she's up there. So, but
totally different perspective on this. I don't really know what happened with this. The facts will come out. What I have a problem with is the core of who this woman is. Unlike you, I don't watch The View, bro. All I do is see clips. I know you.
It's like twice a day.
Here's all I hear from her. America's violent, America's racist, America's bad.
This video comes to us from Sunny Hostin. Sounds like a town. We're in Sunny Hostin. She was on PBS's Finding Your Roots, a show dedicated to researching celebrity ancestry. For context, Sunny is a staunch supporter of reparations and has made a fortune spewing nonsense about white privilege and racial justice.
Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
In the world of daytime television, few voices stand out like Sunny Hostin. She's a lawyer, a journalist, a fierce advocate for justice, and a familiar face on The View, where she's known for pulling no punches, especially when it comes to corruption and accountability. But now, the spotlight is shifting, and this time, it's not about who she's calling out. It's about what's happening inside her own home. Her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, a respected orthopedic surgeon in New York, is now entangled in a lawsuit that could shake their entire world. The accusations? Fraud, corruption, RICO-level racketeering. He's not the only one. Nearly 200 doctors, lawyers, and medical professionals are listed, all tied to what prosecutors are calling one of the largest insurance scams in state history. And Dr. Hostin? He's right in the middle of it. To understand how serious this is, we have to go deeper into the case. It starts with New York's no-fault insurance system. If you get hurt in a car accident in New York, your insurance pays the medical bills, no matter who's at fault. It's meant to help people recover quickly without needing to sue. But it also created an opportunity, a loophole, one that, according to this lawsuit, was exploited for years. The lawsuit claims there was a coordinated operation. Certain law firms would find crash victims, many of them drivers for Uber, Lyft, or taxi services. These injured drivers were then referred to specific medical clinics, clinics allegedly controlled behind the scenes by investors posing as legitimate owners. They're accused of faking medical necessity, ordering unnecessary treatments, invasive procedures like shoulder and knee surgeries, even when less risky options were available. Why? Because surgeries bring in more money, and all of it billed to insurance companies. Dr. Emmanuel Hostin is accused of participating in this scheme, specifically of performing or billing for these unnecessary surgeries. The lawsuit says he was part of a broader network of doctors who went along with the fraud, either knowingly or by turning a blind eye. And here's the twist. The suit isn't just asking for money back. It was filed under RICO laws. Yes, the same laws used to take down the mob. So, what does that mean? RICO allows prosecutors to go after people who didn't just commit crimes, but worked together as part of a criminal enterprise. Think organized crime, think conspiracy, think jail time. If convicted, the damages awarded in a RICO case can be tripled, and in this case, we're talking about tens, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars in potential penalties.
But that's not all. It gets even more intense, because federal agents recently conducted a search of the Hostin home. Sources close to the investigation say they found something alarming: large sums of cash, hidden, unreported. Photos reportedly show bundles of $100 bills, some stashed in drawers, others wrapped in rubber bands, stuffed into safes. No charges have been filed yet, but the message is clear. Investigators are watching, and they believe something serious is going on. For Sunny Hostin, the situation is more than just personal. It's deeply public. She's built her career around integrity. She once served as a federal prosecutor, tackling fraud and sex crimes. She's written books about truth and justice. On The View, she's known for fiery takedowns of political figures accused of corruption. She speaks often about ethics, accountability, and doing the right thing. So now, people are asking, what did she know? Did she benefit from the alleged scheme? And if she didn't know, how could she not? Some fans are defending her. They say she's not her husband, that she's being unfairly dragged through the mud. But others are demanding answers, especially after reports surfaced that Dr. Hostin may have transferred assets into Sunny's name. Was it a strategic move, a protective one, or something else entirely?
At this point, Sunny hasn't spoken publicly about the case. Not on The View, not on social media, not even through a lawyer. That silence is telling. It could be strategic, or it could be fear. But whatever the reason, people are watching, and the pressure is building. In just a few months, this story has gone from whispers to national headlines, from court documents to the court of public opinion, and it's far from over. The fallout at ABC, and how Sunny's future at The View could be in jeopardy. What legal experts are saying about Dr. Hostin's defense, and whether Sunny herself could face legal consequences. Is this just the beginning of the end? The lawsuit against Sunny Hostin and her husband isn't just a legal matter. It's a lightning rod of controversy that has shocked both her fans and critics. At the heart of the claims is an alleged scheme that didn't just involve high-level fraud, but, more disturbingly, targeted some of the most vulnerable workers in society. According to the lawsuit, this scheme disproportionately affected taxi drivers, Uber drivers, and Lyft drivers, people who often operate at the edge of financial insecurity, many of whom are immigrants or minorities trying to build a better life for themselves and their families. These individuals frequently lack the resources to challenge corporate wrongdoing, and if the accusations hold any truth, it represents a grave exploitation of those who are already marginalized. That's what makes the allegations not just about legality, but about morality. It's one thing to run afoul of regulations. It's another to prey on people without the means to fight back. If these claims are accurate, it's not just a betrayal of public trust. It's a complete contradiction of the values Sunny has built her brand on. She's long presented herself as an advocate for justice, an outspoken supporter of the underdog. That persona has been central to her credibility and appeal, especially on platforms like The View, where she routinely takes moral stances on complex issues. But to be accused of participating in a scheme that allegedly exploited people struggling to make ends meet undermines that entire narrative. It paints a picture of hypocrisy that's difficult to reconcile. And for public figures, once that trust is cracked, even a little, It's incredibly hard to repair. It raises the question, was her advocacy real, or was it just another performance? In the court of public opinion, that question can be just as damaging as the lawsuit itself, especially when your entire career is built on your voice and your values. Rather than laying low and waiting for the storm to pass, Sunny has chosen a more aggressive approach, fighting back hard against the allegations. In a bold move, she accused American Transit Insurance Company of orchestrating a smear campaign against her family. In her official statement, she didn't mince words. She claimed that American Transit has a long track record of filing frivolous lawsuits, has been under investigation by New York State authorities, and has even been sued by major corporations like Uber Technologies. This isn't just a legal defense. It's a strategic counterattack meant to discredit the accuser before they gain traction in the public eye. But here's the thing. Aggressive responses can cut both ways. While they might rally loyal supporters, they can also be seen as deflection tactics. Is Sunny trying to expose a shady insurance company? Or is she simply shifting the spotlight away from the very serious claims aimed at her own conduct? Taking it a step further, Sunny and her husband's legal team, led by the notorious Mark Garagos, have threatened to countersue American Transit for defamation. They're demanding $5 million in damages, portraying the entire lawsuit as an act of corporate desperation. According to their narrative, American Transit is a near-bankrupt company looking to dodge its financial obligations by lobbing baseless accusations at high-profile individuals. On the surface, that countersuit seems like a power play, a way to regain control of the narrative and turn the tables on their accusers. But critics aren't convinced. Many view the countersuit not as a genuine defense, but as a smokescreen, a legal maneuver meant to confuse the public and discredit the original claims without actually disproving them. The irony is that both parties are accusing each other of fraud, which only deepens the sense of chaos and confusion. In situations like this, perception often outweighs facts.
Some analysts argue that Sunny's aggressive media response is simply a calculated distraction, an effort to redirect the conversation. And in a media environment driven by headlines, that might be a smart strategy. But the real question is, will it work? Shifting blame to an insurance company might muddy the waters, but it doesn't automatically erase the original allegations. And when the story involves possible exploitation of vulnerable communities, the public tends to be less forgiving. Add to that the fact that Sunny continues to appear on The View, a daily platform watched by millions, and it creates a complex scenario. On one hand, she's maintaining her visibility and refusing to be silenced. On the other, her presence reminds viewers of the controversy, fueling more speculation with each broadcast. Will the audience see her as a fighter clearing her name, or as someone who refuses to take accountability? Meanwhile, fans and media observers alike have noticed a shift in Sunny's demeanor on The View. While she still delivers passionate takes and engages in fiery debates, there's an undercurrent of tension that wasn't there before. Her usual confidence seems slightly forced. Interactions with her co-hosts feel more strained, and there's a sense that she's walking a tightrope between staying composed and exploding under pressure. You can almost sense the weight of the controversy pressing down on her each time she appears on screen. And audiences are picking up on it. Social media has been buzzing with speculation about whether she'll remain on the show, with some viewers calling for her resignation, while others argue that she's being unfairly targeted. The network itself reportedly faces pressure to assess her future, balancing the loyalty of her fans against the risk of reputational damage. It's a delicate PR dance, and one misstep could spell disaster. What makes this situation so riveting is the gap between Sunny's public image and the private allegations unfolding behind the scenes. For someone so deeply entrenched in identity politics and social justice advocacy, the idea that she may have unknowingly or knowingly benefited from a fraudulent scheme is a major contradiction. Her brand has always been rooted in empowerment, especially for communities of color. Yet now, those very communities are the ones reportedly harmed by the alleged actions tied to her husband's business dealings. the irony hasn't been lost on the public. Her critics have been quick to point out that for someone so focused on knowing where she comes from, she apparently didn't know nearly enough about what was happening in her own backyard. This dissonance is what makes redemption so complicated. When you present yourself as a moral authority, the fall from grace hits a lot harder, and the climb back up is far steeper. Ultimately, this scandal isn't just about Sunny and her husband. It's a window into a much larger issue. What happens when public figures fall short of their own values? We've seen it countless times: celebrities, politicians, influencers who build empires on trust and integrity, only to watch it all unravel when real-world consequences catch up to them. The difference now is how fast the public turns. With social media amplifying every headline and every quote, there's no time for nuance. You're either a villain or a victim, a hero or a hypocrite. And once the internet decides which one you are, it's nearly impossible to change the narrative. That's the challenge Sunny faces now. How do you reclaim your voice when your credibility is in question? How do you connect with your audience when the connection has been fractured? That's the story still being written, and everyone is watching it unfold in real time. So, where does this leave us? Right now, we're all spectators in a legal and reputational battle that's far from over. Will Sunny and her husband clear their names, or will this scandal mark the end of their careers in the public spotlight? Can The View weather this storm without alienating its viewers? Or will it be forced to make a difficult call to preserve its image? As more information comes to light, public opinion will continue to evolve. Some will stand by Sunny, others will condemn her, and many will simply wait for the next scandal to grab their attention. But for now, this one has legs, and it's not going away anytime soon. Share your thoughts, your theories, and your reactions in the comments. Let's unravel this tangled web together, piece by piece. Until next time, stay curious, stay critical, and most of all, stay watching.